I'm going to wait for 3 more minutes. Thanks for joining Applied Business Academy.
Hi, this is Vish. Actually, that's my my place of works. Idea. I'm changing it. Yeah.
No worries. Thank you for joining. Thank you. All right, I'm going to wait for 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Whilst I'm waiting, can I kind of get to know those that are in the room right now? Just a little bit of a background, just your name and where you're from, i.e. where you're based. I just want to get a feel for who's in the room at the moment. David, where are you based?
I'm based in London.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm based in London. My name is David Dankor.
All right. Thank you very much for joining, David.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Good.
What else do you want to know? What else do you want to know? So,
what do you do at the moment?
Actually, I'm a contractor for Network Rail. So I'm a sponsor. I'm a sponsor for Network Rail.
Okay. When you say sponsor, you mean project sponsor?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Vish, you're based in London as well?
Yeah, I'm based in London. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And what do you do at the moment?
Actually, I am right now I'm into digital marketing, but I was in IT for a prolonged time. I have familiarity with Agile, but I almost forgot.
Oh, I see.
So I thought I should refresh, and I came across this ad, and I was wanting to take this opportunity to refresh myself.
Good.
That's the purpose. Now let's see where it will take me. Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, Allah. Good evening. Where are you based? Okay, great. Where are you based? Hi, Kechi. Good evening. Victoria. Where are you guys based? I know we have a global audience here. Hi, good evening. How are you?
Hello, Techie speaking. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, good. Good. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. I've got the Victoria.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? Hi, Shala. Where are you based?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to join this call. I'm based in Lagos, currently in Abuja.
Okay. Oh, in Abuja. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Victor. Okay. I think Kechi, are you Victoria as well? You logged in us to different devices?
No, Victoria is my younger sister.
Oh, okay. All right. Hi, Victoria. Nice to meet you. All right.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good. I know there are a few more people that will be joining, probably a little late. I'm going to get cracking because there's quite a lot I want to cover, and I want to be able to finish right on time. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you please tell me if you can see my screen? Please tell me if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
All right, good. Thank you very much. Hi, Chidozie. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Chidozie, where are you based?
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Durham, close to Newcastle.
Newcastle. Oh, you're up north.
Yes,
Good.
I am.
Thanks for joining. All right, I'm going to mute everybody now if it's okay. And let's get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar on how to be a business analyst. Some of you have met me before. Some of you it's the first time I'm meeting you. I'm just going to introduce myself very briefly for the benefit of those that I'm meeting for the first time. Can I just kind of get a sense of who I've never met before? Just kind of type in the chat if it's the first time you're seeing me. If you've met me before, if you've seen anything about me before, read my book, or this is the very first time you're hearing about me, just put it in the chat just so I get a sense of who I'm talking to. First time, thanks, David. Yes, it is. Who else is meeting me for the first time? Meeting me for the first time, you don't know anything about me at all. Thanks. Okay, quite a few people. Thank you very much. So I'm going to try and put my best foot forward. Right? I'm going to try and put my best foot forward and tell you a little bit about me and try to establish some credibility of sorts. So my name is Tolu Fagbola, and I am a trainer. I've been a trainer in the space of digital for quite a while now. I'll say I kind of got into training and development about 2003 till now. Is that 16 years? Thereabout. But I've been training for about 20. And in that time, I've done a number of things across multiple sectors. So I started off my career in telecoms. I worked for Carphone Warehouse. For those of you in the UK, you might know of them. Worked for Carphone Warehouse for a few years. That's kind of where I kind of got into, the world of training and development and technology and business and so on. And very quickly, when I was at Carphone Warehouse, I realized that, technology was really going to have a significant impact on my career and my industry. So I sought to get involved in technology quite quickly. About 16 or 17 years ago, got involved in helping implement learning management systems across multiple industries, mainly banking, early on. So it helped implement some learning management systems and develop some e-learning content for some banks internationally. And did that for a couple of years, and very slowly sort of started moving into other user technologies, so CRM systems and tools like that. So still maintaining my identity as a trainer. When you've got a new system being rolled out in your organization, the trainer has to deliver the end user training, but then they're always late with the delivery. So the trainer has to spend, half the time they planned delivering the training. So having knowledge of how technology is implemented, I started helping the development teams be better prepared so that I wouldn't be, impacted adversely. So started working with solution development teams to help be more effective, implementing agile practices and so on. So I sort of got involved in implementing solutions as well as delivering training. So I kept that identity for a number of years. So even when I moved across industries and consulting roles, still very much focused on training. So, consulted for a number of organizations, did, BT, Openreach. I did some business architecture for them, did some work at a energy and utilities company, implementing smart metering, worked in, agile roles as well, was a scrum master and agile coach on that particular project. And yeah, done quite a lot over the years, but always maintained that delivering solutions as well as delivering training in that space. Even though I can deliver training in other spaces like soft skills and project management, but I focus on delivering sort of training when it comes to implementing business change and focused on implementing business change. So you can say that's kind of been my identity over the last few years. I set up a career transition as a few years ago following my master's degree. I did a master's in organizational behavior, and I really noticed that mid-career professionals really struggled to transition into a digital career. So people who have, it's their third, fourth job, or they're in their 30s or 40s, and they have a career, they've got some subject matter expertise. Maybe they've been in a call center or something, or they've been in housing, and now they want to sort of move into something like be software testing or project management or agile or business analysis, and they just struggled because the system isn't really designed to cater for people like that. The system was designed really to cater for people coming fresh out of uni, fresh out of school. Lots of programs for them, apprenticeships are there, and lots of different programs for those kinds of people, but not particularly for people who already have a career, have a mortgage, have a family, because it's quite a challenge. So I made it my mission to help mid-career professionals move into a digital career, using everything that I've learned over the years to help. So I started Career Transitioners and deliver training and coaching and kind of make it a sort of holistic. So one of the things that I try to do on this program in particular is to help people look at how best to move into that a career that you're looking to move into, rather than just delivering a particular certification or the other. So it's about sort of moving in and transitioning into that career, leveraging your existing experience and skills. So I'm not particularly interested in training people who don't have any industry or work experience whatsoever, who literally want to start from scratch. I'm looking at people who already have a career, who already do something, who already have worked in an industry for a number of years, and they understand that industry, and they want to leverage those skills and experiences to move into a sort of a agile role or a business analysis role. So that's what I do. That's who I am. So business analysis. Why business analysis? If it's okay with you guys, I'm going to do a little bit of sort of teaching stroke, telling you why this is a viable option for people looking to make that transition. But I wouldn't say it's teaching per se, because the aim isn't to make you become a business analyst in the next hour. The aim is to get you to start to think about whether this is the right thing for you or not. So why business analysis? I think business analysis is one of the most essential skills when it comes to business change within organizations, especially technology-enabled business change, otherwise known as digital transformation. Every organization today is going through some sort of transformation or the other, whether it's implementing an IT system or changing processes, moving to the cloud, automating processes. There's a project happening one way or the other in lots of different organizations across different teams and departments. And the problem that a lot of these change initiatives have is they're not effective. Lots of wastes, lots of spending more, lots of ineffective communication, and lots of challenges. And people have just grown to get used to it. But what business analysis does is it helps the change be more effective. I always look at projects and I look at the project team, and I could tell quite quickly if it's going to be effective or not, if it's going to deliver on its promise or not, if it's going to be delivered on time, if it's going to meet its quality criteria or not, if there is a good business analyst on the project. The business analyst is almost like a conduit, the person that helps ensure that what the business needs, the business gets when it comes to that change. So business analysis supports that sort of change, that business change, whether it's an agile change or a waterfall change. Business analysis is there to kind of support that. And as a business analyst, you're doing lots of different things, but essentially you're trying to make sure what the change is, whether it's a project or a program, is delivered effectively. Now, the skills you need to be able to do that, you want to be able to make sure that you've got a toolkit. And the program that I teach is there to help you get started with that toolkit. There will be lots that you would need, but at least you want enough to be able to get started. So business analysis, regardless of whether it's an agile project or a waterfall project or a hybrid project, we're agnostic to delivery methods. Business analysis supports those business changes. And when I say business change, I mean projects or programs, and it can be it can be either. As long as you're changing the way you work, typically using technology, then business analysis is effective for it. So, one of the things that we always get mixed up is what it is, what business analysis really is. So here's a little definition for you if you've not seen this at all. Business analysis is an advisory role. It's an advisory role that's responsible for research, analysis, and making sure that the requirements are defined and it's in line with the business needs. So there are a number of things that you're doing as a business analyst. And I'm going to go into the BA myths in a second, but one of the things that people sort of assume is business analysts are just there to take notes, or they're just there to write documents, or they're just there to gather requirements. Ultimately, what we're there to do is provide advisory services that will ensure that the business needs are met. So we do a lot of research, we do a lot of modeling, we do a lot of analysis, and we do a lot of ensuring that the change is effective. So in terms of who we are, that's essentially, if you were to break it down in a nutshell, that's what business analysis is. Now, here's some of the myths. Here's some of the myths that I hear a lot. And when I say myths, misconceptions about business analysis. And you can tell me, just type in the chat if any of these are, resonates with you, if you've heard some of these before. I've heard people say business analysts are only meant for IT projects. You can only be a business analyst if it's an IT project, right? Well, that can be debunked right now, because I know quite a number of organizations who have BAs and they're not an IT project. Another one is business analysis are needed only after a project kicks off. So there needs to be a project on ground for you to have a BA on it. Well, that's another misconception, because BAs really help ensure that the project actually exists. That's one of the things we do. We do the research, the discovery, so that the projects can get kicked off. So the initial analysis side of things, BAs do that. So there doesn't need to be a project for a BA to exist. They definitely work within projects, and they definitely help projects be successful, but they also need to be there earlier. So again, you don't have to be on a project as a BA. You can be working independently with strategic level stakeholders, trying to figure out what the project should be. Another one is business analysts only gather requirements. And I see a lot of BAs struggle with this. These are actual BAs who are in the field, get stuck on just requirements. And one of the things that I always encourage BAs to do is develop their careers and grow within their careers and be more than just a notes taker. And if you've ever been in any of my classes, you will always hear me say, you're not a glorified notes taker. So you're not just there to gather requirements. You're there to make sure the change is effective. Requirements gathering is absolutely critical and it's essential. It's an essential skill, but that's not the only thing we do. Another thing that people assume is that you've got to be a BA to do business analysis work. And I say, no, business analysis is a set of tools. You have a set of tools within your toolkit, and you don't have to have that job title to be doing business analysis. Now, this is particularly important for people who already have a lot of work experience in an industry. So you could be a digital marketer right now. You could be a project planner or a contractor. You could be an accountant and be doing business analysis work already, right? So it's not just the BAs who have the job title who already do business analysis work. Very important when it comes to redesigning and writing your CV. When you're looking for an actual BA role, you want to be able to tap in to a lot of your experiences. For example, when I was I managed a call center department years and years ago, and part of that piece of work, or part of my work, was to look at the IVR process, the interactive voice recording process, and remap it for my team. Well, process modeling is business analysis. At the time, I had no idea that that's what I was doing, but the tools and techniques that I used, and I got a consultant to come work with us on, was pure business analysis. It was only afterwards that I realized that I was already doing business analysis. Well, put that on your CV. You've already been doing process modeling in your job as an accountant because you helped implement the accounting process at your previous role. So you don't have to be a business analyst to do business analysis. Another myth that I want to debunk. And this final one is one that people struggle with a lot. You do not have to be a techie to be a BA or do business analysis. I'm not a techie. And in fact, a lot of my team, some of my development team, we always kind of have that back and forth. Are you a techie or are you not? Well, here's how I reconcile it in my head. I don't know how to write code. I've never written a line of code before. I think about, 2000, was that 21 years ago? Any of you old enough to remember Dreamweaver? I tried learning Dreamweaver like 20 years. I knew straight away, this is not my bag. I cannot. The closest I ever came to doing anything techie was putting up a WordPress site based on the templates they've used. So I'm not a techie by any stretch of the imagination. However, I'm able to speak with techies and translate requirements to techies and ensure the techies understand what the business needs. And that's essentially what you need to be able to do as a BA. You don't have to be a techie. You've got to be able to speak with techies. And the soft skills to do that is what's really important. So those are some of the myths that I'm hoping resonates with you. And you can start to see, okay, great. This business analysis thing is a lot different from what I thought. I don't have to be a techie. I don't have to learn how to write code. I don't need to have been in the tech industry for years and years and years to be able to do this. What I do want you to be able to think about is leveraging your existing skills. Where have you worked and what have you done in the past? Because you don't have to be a BA to do business analysis. Another, a couple of myths. On another thing that I want to make sure that you understand is if you're working on a project, you can learn the skills to be able to deliver change effectively, whether you're a business analyst or not. And the skills that you have can help you deliver change effectively, whether you choose to be called a BA or not. So you can do a business analysis course and then go back to your existing role and be more effective at it, even though you're not a business analyst per se. So what are some of the principles? So this really is where I kind of want to bring business analysis and Agile together, because I've said, the title of my program is Agile Business Analysis. And I'd like to explain this as, when you're implementing a project, you've got to be able to understand how the project will be delivered. You also have to be able to understand, the tools and techniques that you need and the skill set and the mindset that you need to be effective within that project. And there are a number of principles within business analysis and Agile that I think is very pertinent. Do you know what, David? There are not too many people on the call right now. Happy for you to drop your questions in. You can ask your questions at any time. I'll take them. Ooh, am I recording? Yes. So you can drop your questions in and I'll take them at any point. I'll take them immediately. some key principles. By the way, in class, in animal classes, I will really go deep into this, but about business analysis, the principles of business analysis is really about the mindset mainly, and it's important to understand some of these key things. Just again, following on the myths of BA. For business analysis, it's about root cause and not symptoms. What does that mean? It means when you're looking at a business problem, it's not really about what it looks like and trying to solve surface level problems. It's about understanding what's causing the problem. For example, our customers are not happy. There are too many complaints, right? So let's go implement a complaint management tool. Well, as a BA, the questions you want to be asking is what's causing those complaints? Maybe we need to train our staff on how to handle complaints. Maybe it's not software that's going to solve that problem. So really it's about root causes, not symptoms. And with that simple example, I hope you can use that to really understand the mindset of a BA. It's about thinking, what do we need to be doing, and not just sort of going with what the business are thinking they should be doing. Not just say, oh yeah, because the project manager has said go gather requirements for this complaints management tool, we go run ahead and do it. We want to be able to go back and go, great, what's the problem we're trying to solve? Let's find out what the root cause is and solve the problem at the bottom, rather than just constantly sort of carrying out tasks just because they're there on the backlog. So one of the principles is about root causes and not symptoms. It's about business improvement and not IT system change. It's not about the IT for us as BAs. It's not about the technology solution. It's not about the IT system. It's about what's the business going to get out of it? What is going to improve in the business? So as a BA, you're bringing in your business knowledge. You're trying to understand, what are we trying to achieve here, rather than what's the IT system supposed to be doing, okay? Do you have to understand the business before you can become a BA? At what point can we use the methodology Agile and Waterfall in a project? Okay, great. Let me take the first question first. Do you have to understand the business before you can become a BA? Yes. But when you say the business, you don't have to understand that particular business to become a BA. You do have to understand business, and you do have to have some knowledge of the business. So as a BA, the very first thing you do when you get into an organization is you do research. For the first week or two, do nothing but figure out what's happening, what's the business doing, who are the people, who are the stakeholders, what's the change, what are they trying to achieve. So you have to understand that to be able to implement the tools and techniques that you learn. So you do have to understand the business, but you don't have to have that knowledge before you become a BA. You become a BA, and then you really have to understand the business. But you do have to have some basic business knowledge because it will drive you, will help you ask the right questions. And the next question is, at what point can we use the methodology Agile or Waterfall in a project? Okay, you're gonna have to come into a class for that one. Or we have some sort of a matrix that we'll look at. Simply put, if the project is a complex adaptive project, you really want to be considering Agile, because Agile deals better with change and chaos and changing requirements, changing business needs, and all of that stuff. If it is that kind of project, you definitely want to be considering Agile. But if it's a simple, straightforward, requirements clearly defined kind of project, perhaps Waterfall may still be applicable. But we go through, in class, we go through some of that. When should you use Agile? When should you be recommending Waterfall? A lot of projects these days, if it's technology enabled, you really want to be leaning towards Agile because it can help you, lots of benefits to it. And we talk about that in class as well. Another principle, it's about options and not solutions. What this means is, for an analyst, you're really always checking, is this the right thing to be doing? It's not really about the solution. You're always really constantly researching. For example, We want to implement a payment gateway into our platform. Great. Somebody says, oh, great, let's go do Stripe. Let's go implement Stripe. Somebody says, let's go implement PayPal. Somebody says, no, WorldPay is the best. Well, as an analyst, your job is not to go, be a specialist in WorldPay or be a specialist in PayPal or be a specialist in one solution or the other. Your job is to figure out what those options are, do some research, give us data that can help us make the right decision. So you always want to stay agnostic to the solution. You don't want to lean towards one or the other. They're saying, oh yeah, we've got a service design project and we're thinking of using ServiceNow versus something else. Well, it's not really about the solution. It's about what options are there. And you as an analyst are constantly looking at what the best thing to use is and giving us enough information to be able to make the right decision. So you are simply researching to figure out the best options, to provide us with options. And then the team will decide on the solution. So those are some of the principles that we hold here. And we always look at things holistically. Holistically, we mean we're not just looking at information and technology, we're looking at process, we're looking at people, we're looking at the organization structure, and we're doing things holistically. And we're, agile principles include collaborative working and working incrementally and working within empowered teams. And business analysis and agile kind of goes very well, goes hand in hand. Those principles align, but we are not, we're agnostic of a methodology. We'll use agile and we'll use waterfall, we'll use a hybrid, it doesn't matter, but we really do align very well with agile. And one of the things that's really important is that as an analyst, you want to be able to think from a business perspective and not just a solutions perspective. You want to be thinking from a business perspective. And as an analyst, there are a number of things you want to be able to do. There are a number of things that we do. So what do? We research. We do lots and lots of research. We investigate business situations, find out what the business problems are. Whether it's during a project or outside of projects, we're constantly researching. So we have what we call a service framework in business analysis. This is part of the business analysis certification path. The BCS are the accreditation body for business analysis in the UK. And within the BCS curriculum, we have what we call a business analysis service framework. And it suggests that we offer 6 services. So essentially, these are the things that we do. And within the class, we'll kind of go to some of these. So we do situation investigation and problem analysis, focus on the problems. We try to do research. We do a lot of requirements definition within projects. That's essentially a service on its own. We do feasibility assessment and business case development. So as a BA, you've got to understand finance, you've got to understand cost and benefits, and we'll talk about that in class as well. We also do business acceptance testing or what somebody might call user acceptance testing. So you implement a solution, the business needs to be able to say, yes, this is what we want. So you want to be able to test against the criteria laid out by the business, not necessarily a system test criteria or a IT testing. This is more business acceptance test to be able to say, yeah, we're happy with what we've asked for. And for you as a BA, you want to be able to lead on that. And of course, do a lot of business process improvements. This is where we do our as-is process modeling and to-be process modeling. So we do a lot of process improvement and gap analysis and using lots of tools and techniques to really help the business improve its processes. And we also do change improvement, business change. So when it comes to business change, we might be looking at the soft skills side of things, training after we've implemented business change to ensure that what the change is what the business needs. Am I going to share the slides after the session? Yes, I will do, definitely. because the course content is in there as well. The brochure is in here as well. So yes, I will share the class slides. Business analysis competency. So what do you need in order to be a business analyst? What do you need in order to be a business analyst? Well, you need lots of professional techniques. You need to learn project management. You need to learn process modeling. You need to learn investigation techniques, requirements engineering. You need to learn all those things. Professional techniques. I always say that, excuse me. I always say there are 3 key skills that a BA must have in terms of professional techniques. 3 key skills a BA must have to get started. And they are stakeholder management, process modeling, requirements engineering. Stakeholder management, process modeling, requirements engineering. So let's say, for argument's sake, you want to go do this by yourself, right? You want to become a business analyst, and you realize that you've already been doing a lot of things, as many of you may already have been doing for many years. You can simply say, well, Tolu told me that there are 3 things I must be good at to become a business analyst, and you go on YouTube and learn, start applying for BA roles. Stakeholder management, stakeholder management techniques, understand how to do RACI charts, understand how to have develop a stakeholder management plan, using power interest grid, understand your stakeholders and tools and techniques to engage and manage your stakeholders, right? Stakeholder management, very important. Process modeling, being able to draw a swim lane diagram, being able to draw a process map, being able to do your as-is process model, and being able to sort of break down your process into steps or into tasks, right? That skill, again, you can learn. Go on YouTube, take a bunch of, get a book on process modeling, get comfortable with process modeling, learn how to use a tool like Visio to be able to document that process, right? And then requirements engineering or requirements documentation, being able to speak to a user and ask exactly what they need an IT system to do for them, and write it down. It might be in the form of a user story. As a user, I want to be able to book a room. As a user, I want to be able to make a payment. Being able to write requirements. Again, takes some skill, but again, you can learn it. So professional techniques, there are a number of them, but to get you started, I'll say very important. And then business knowledge. You've got to have some domain knowledge. As a BA, you're an analyst, you're a business analyst. It's important that you have some business knowledge. If you did a business degree, this will come naturally. If you understand how a business works, if you worked in any organization for a number of years, this should already be there. You should already have some of this. Understand how suppliers work, understand how finance work, understand the difference between cost and benefits. That's really important. Have some knowledge of a particular domain or particular industry. So if you work for your teacher, you understand the education industry. If I'm implementing an education management system, you will be a perfect person to be a business analyst for that project. So having domain knowledge is really, really important. It's not the end of the world if you don't have a lot of domain knowledge, but it's useful. It gives you an edge. It gives you leverage. It helps you compete. So having business knowledge, really important. Having business knowledge, including domain knowledge and subject matter expertise, is important. And then personal qualities. For me, the most important thing, your soft skills, the ability to communicate, the ability to analyze, critical thinking, leadership, confidence. Those are the things that will really set you apart. The ability to learn, the ability to adapt, the ability to bring people together. Those personal qualities are, for me, probably 60 to 80% of the skills you need to be a business analyst. So that's what I'll say the business analyst's competencies are. So understand what you need for each of these, and you can get started very quickly leveraging the existing skills. So how much do BAs earn? Well, this numbers vary a lot. For an experienced BA, you can expect to get £550 a day. If you're in the UK, by the way, I'm talking to the UK audience. If you are in the US, I don't know what the day rate is, but it's quite a good one. If you're in Canada, they're literally biting off the hands of BAs and, looking for BAs everywhere. Business analysts, very, very, very much in high demand in Canada, Australia, in Africa, increasingly becoming a in-demand role, but not as much just yet in places in Nigeria, not as much. The skills are there, but you might hear it called different things. Product management is becoming more and more popular in Nigeria, particularly at the moment. And for us, as a BA, you can easily do product management because pretty much everything you do as a product manager, you do as a BA anyway. You just kind of focus on one product rather than the entire business or any kind of project. So as a BA, becoming a product manager, walk in the park. Everything you learn, you can use. So in Nigeria, if you're in Nigeria, you want to be looking at product management, product ownership type roles. That's kind of where it's really sort of in demand. And that's kind of what they're not that they don't know that it's called business analyst, but they kind of use the product management approach because there are lots of startups, lots of tech companies that are adopting new products and projects, and they're adopting this approach and they're being very successful with it. So in Nigeria, that's the kind of stuff you want to be looking at. In Canada, business analysts, 100%. In the US, business analysis, requirements engineers, process analysts, they generally tend to split the BA role into different parts. And other digital careers becoming more and more popular. And I think the roles are in high demand at the moment. Of course, you can check out the salaries and especially the permanent salaries. And where do you go once you become a business analyst? Where do you go from here? There are lots of career paths and trajectories and progression paths for BAs. Being a senior business analyst, being a lead business analyst is a natural path. Once you've got some experience as a BA, it's a natural path for you to go into leading a BA team, natural path. Lots of organizations are hiring lead BAs now. In fact, it's probably one of the top 2-3 in-demand digital careers at the moment. Being a business architect is increasingly becoming popular, especially in the financial services sector. I did some work with what's this bank in Cardiff? There's a sort of mortgage bank in Cardiff that have a team of business architects and are hiring business architects, and all of the business architects except the lead was promoted from being a business analyst. And of course, they get paid a lot of money. And Cumberland Building Society, quite a number of quite a number of financial services organizations have business architects. Telecoms, 100% have lots of business architects. And really, the business architect is really kind of like the next natural step. So this is where you're talking about capability modeling, target operating models, and you're being consulted as part of a project whenever a new product or a new sort of a digital transformation program is on the way. So business architects, very in demand role as well, growing as well. Enterprise architect, this has a little bit more tech expectation. So a business architect, you're a business architect. You're focused on what the business does. Enterprise architect, you're focused on the technology side of things as well. So you can progress, but you've got to be a lot more techy. You've got to understand data architecture. You've got to understand solution applications architecture, as well as business architecture. So I'll say this, for the more tech inclined people amongst you, you can go down that route. Product ownership is a natural progression for us. When I say product ownership, I also mean product management. So product ownership, product management, very natural progression for us as well. Being a lead BA, being a change manager, also natural progression for us as well. So lots of progression paths for you as a BA. And as a BA, you get to have a lot of insights, and you have a lot of, because you work across the organization, you work with senior stakeholders, you work with end users, you work with techies, and you are very much one of the very few roles that need to work across the organization. So you get to learn very quickly what the organization does, and you get to have lots of deep insights about the organization that can set you up for other roles within an organization, other strategic level roles within an organization. So really, really great role for progression in terms of your career. Question is this right for you? Is business analysis right for you? So a few questions for you. If you give me a mental tick and then tell me if this is the right thing for you, just go yes, no in the chat. So question, have you ever been part of a project within an organization? If I have to explain the word project to you, then you probably need a little bit more learning before you kind of come in. Have you ever experienced projects going wrong? If the answer is yes, then you kind of have an idea of where you need to be focusing your energies on. Do you know that your projects experience communications issues? Have you kind of seen projects fail? Have you got some knowledge, skills, and experience you can leverage? Have you got some work experience in a particular industry? Are you a subject matter expert of some sort? For example, are you an accountant, right? If you're implementing an accounting system, you're perfect. Right? Are you a project planner? If you're implementing a project management tool, you're perfect. Are you a customer services officer? If you're implementing a CRM system, you're perfect for a BA role in that industry or any other industry, for example. Do you use CRM Dynamics? You're perfect when you're implementing a CRM tool. Do you use Salesforce? You're absolutely perfect when you're using, that's an intruder. Absolutely perfect when you're trying to implement a Salesforce tool. Are you committed and are you ready to learn? If you are, then this might be the right thing for you. Okay, everybody said yes, and I've not seen any no's. So I'm assuming that I'm speaking to the right audience. Now, I don't babysit, so I always say everybody I teach are adults. No one is fresh out of uni, and I'm assuming you've got some work experience, so you're not fresh out of uni. If you are, that's fine, but I wouldn't expect you to be able to go straight into a BA role. I'll expect you to be able to learn and then grow. So my program is called the Agile BA Fast Track Program. It's an 8-week program that is designed to help transition into business analysis as quickly as you can. Like I said, I don't babysit, but I coach, a guide, a support, help you get there. And I try to give you as much tools as you need. So how does the program work? So the Agile BA Fast Track Program was designed to help you transition into business analysis. It's focused on people like you in terms of your subject matter expertise. You've got domain knowledge, you've got some work experience, and you can leverage that work experience to get into business analysis. So the format, 8 weeks, fully online, delivered via Zoom, typically, and we use our learning management system, LearnFlow, for assignments and quizzes and videos and all of that. I use a lot of breakout rooms. I use a lot of whiteboard collaboration tools, and delivered entirely via Zoom. You don't need to be here to be part of the class. You can be from anywhere. You can be from Nigeria, from Canada, from the US, and you can join from anywhere. We've had people from all over the world join the program, as long as you can remember that it's 7 p.m. GMT, that's UK time, and you'll be good. So the first 3 weeks, we go into business analysis. So I try to deliver the foundation certificate in business analysis as purely as possible. Now, what do I mean by that? So the Foundation Certificate in Business Analysis is a course that you can take as a standalone. And I have videos and e-learning self-paced that I'll give you for free as well. So you can watch all the videos so that you can pass the exam. But I use that as a framework to teach the business analysis in the first 3 weeks. So I stay true to the curriculum, but we make it practical. We use real life case studies, and I get you guys to practice as much as possible using collaborative tools. And that's what we do in the first 3 weeks. And it should prepare you for the exam as well if you wish to take the exam. I highly recommend that you take the exam. So by the way, the program comes with the exam. So we're accredited to deliver the exams. I'll invigilate the exam, or one of my colleagues or one of my team will invigilate the exam. So whatever you're doing with us, the exam is part of the package, right? But the 3 weeks, I'm not going to be teaching you to pass the exam. I'll be teaching you to be a BA, but you will have e-learning to help you pass the exam. They'll have quizzes and exam prep. And what I also do is when you're ready for the exam, I have like a crash boot camp to get you ready for the exam, okay? I'm not expecting that you do the exam within this 3-week period. I think you should always do a separate prep for the exam. The first 3 weeks, business analysis. And the next 3 weeks, we do Agile. By the way, all the classes run Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., right through the 8-week period. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., we got classes. And that's right through the 8-week period. The next 2 weeks, so week 4 and 5 is Scrum, Agile. So we now start to go into Agile, and we try to embed sort of a lot of the learning we've taken from the BA class, we start to implement it in the Scrum class. For example, requirements engineering, we start to write requirements, using user stories in the Scrum class. So Scrum over the 2-week period, also an exam with it. So I follow the Scrum study route based on the Scrum body of knowledge. You'll have the Scrum definitive guide, massive amounts of material, massive amounts of learning. But during the 2-week period, I'm not teaching you to pass the exam, I'm teaching you to be a Scrum master, to work in a Scrum environment. But you have full e-learning to help you pass the exam with questions and answers and exam prep, okay? And then week 5, 6, and 7, we now go practical. This is where we spend time learning how to use tools. The first week of this course, we're going to be doing Figma. As a BA, one of the things you really want to be able to do is talk to developers. And the best way to talk to a developer is to talk to them visually, be able to draw out what you are trying to say. So we'll learn how to use Figma. I'm not going to be teaching you that. Specialist designer is going to be teaching you that. And yeah, he's a product manager, product designer, fantastic way of teaching how to use Figma. And some people have kind of come into that class, and within the next week, they've gotten a job because of their ability to prototype using Figma. So being able to draw a landing page, being able to draw what features you need on a website, being able to do that using a tool like Figma, absolutely critical for a BA. So you learn how to use Figma, and the next week, you learn how to use Visio or Jira or Diagrams.net, whichever tool you've got access to. So the way I teach that is I will be using Visagi, I will have Diagrams.net. We'll have learned how to model business processes, and we'll put those processes into a tool like Visio, Visagi, Diagrams.net. And we'll also learn how to use Jira. I don't go too deep into Jira. I give you an overview because Jira changes all the time and it's different for every team. Jira is one of the most popular requirements management tools for agile teams. So we spend a good 2 weeks learning tools that BAs need to use. And then once you're comfortable with all those, then we go into career coaching. This is where you now start to draw everything together to get you ready for applying for BA jobs. Interview skills. How are you communicating your skills? Your CV review. I want to see your CV individually. I want to be able to coach you collectively. So the first class group, the first week group, and the second one-on-one. So you get a couple of one-on-one sessions as part of the program. The first one, hopefully, to help you really understand what you should be putting in your CV. The second one to validate you and go off into the world. Here's where you should be looking to apply for jobs in your own situation. So I try to make sure it's individually tailored. So for example, if you are, if you should be using LinkedIn, or if you should be using JobServe, or if you should be using Indeed, whatever approach you need to be using, we will be talking about that, setting goals and getting you ready for life as a BA in the real world. So that's the program. We use a system called LearnFlow. We deliver classes in Zoom, but we have the assignments, the courses, the videos from the classes, the course materials, the slides, the exam prep, all of that stuff stored on LearnFlow, and you'll have access to it right away through, as long as you are still on program and as long as you are still interested in learning. We don't remove access. We always give you access regardless. Another thing that's really useful that I do that many others don't do is, as long as you've paid for a course, you can attend that same course as many times as you need. You can attend future classes as many times as you need. The last program that we had Kathy, who was part of the previous program earlier in the year in March. She came onto the program, and then in September, she came onto the program again, but this time having just started a first BA role. But what she learned earlier was good to get her in. Then what she learned the second time around was what helped her embed. And, you know, she was able to talk about the first day on the job, what she needed to do and all of that stuff. Really useful. And in that environment, you can learn from your peers as well. So once you've paid for a course, you can attend the class as many times as you need. So doing it the first time round, it'll be new. Second time round, it'll be different because I don't say the same thing every day. There'll be different people as well. So always very useful. You'll have access to the videos for as long as you need. You never get seize access. You can download class videos. And of course, you can bank your one-to-one coaching sessions for when you feel you need it. So you can take the course now, and then you might say, you know what, my coaching sessions, I'm going to hold on to it till I'm ready to start looking for jobs or till I have an interview coming. And then you can go tell you, can I use my coaching session now? I've got an interview next week. So you can do that. So those are some of the things that you have as well as part of the program. So you're going to ask me, how much is this? Well, it is £1,750, but that includes your BCS exams and your Scrum Study exams. The exams alone are like, I don't know, £500. The exams alone are, you know, about £500. More than that, probably. No, £700, right? Plus 2. So the exams alone are right, £700. So quite affordable. You can call to discuss discounts and concessions. So if you're a student, you can get a student discount, but today's discount, 25% for being here today, 25% off straight away, and other discounts and concessions, call. So if you are looking to join, the next class, please fill in the form. Paul, can we pop the registration form into the chat, please?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you. Is anybody looking to join? Oh, I didn't talk about when the next class is going to be. The next batch is going to start on Monday, January 17th. Monday, January 17th, and we're going to run 8 weeks all the way to the end. So Monday, January 17th, put that date in your calendar if you're looking to join the next batch. If you're looking to join the next batch, do please put your fill in the form, and we'll send you payment instructions and installment plans and payment plans and so on. So do fill in the form, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible to discuss how you can get on board. Okay, great. Please pop in your name and we'll send you payment instructions. learnflow.info/payment form. learnflow.info/payment form. Just pop in your name and we'll be able to get that over to you as soon as possible. You can keep that link as well. If you're doing it later, please do so. All right. Thanks very much, Vish. Very highly informative. Hope you got some value out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good. It was very refreshing, and my situation is different. I'll reach to you. Okay.
Yes.
And yeah, I'll connect with you.
Good.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Everybody who's here will get a follow-up email with with the slides that I've used today. And thanks very much. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm happy to take any questions for a few minutes. If you've got a few minutes, happy to take any questions. Any questions from anyone? I'm happy for you to unmute and speak, please. Thank you very much. David, any questions?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you've answered 2 of my questions already, so I think I just want to add one more.
Go for it.
What is your pass rate for your students?
95%. 100% this year. No one has failed this year. 95% overall. Yeah. There are a few people that didn't follow my instructions and didn't come to exam prepared. But if you do what I say, you will pass. Scrum, 100% so far. BCS, Business Analysis, 95% overall, 100% so far this year. And yeah.
So is it foundation business analyst or practitioner? I'm a bit confused.
Foundation. So the one in this program is foundation, but we're accredited to deliver all of it. We're accredited to deliver the practitioner, the diploma, all of it. Agile, we're accredited by the BCS. But for this particular Agile BA fast track program, what's included is the foundation. But if you want to do the practitioner, we can. We've got practitioner classes. That's for the professionals, people who are already in BA, or that's my recommendation anyway. You can take it regardless, but I always recommend do the foundation, get into a BA role, and then do the practitioner. And then you start to go, okay, command the higher day rates and the contract day rates and so on. So it's a progression path.
What about
my recommendation? Yeah.
Okay. What about I've never done the course before, but I've been in the BA role for some time, on and off.
Okay.
So if I want to do the foundation and straight jump onto the practitioner,
yeah,
would I get some juicy discount?
Yeah, we can talk. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I've taken the number down, so probably talk afterwards. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. You're welcome. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions?
Okay. Just me again. Sorry.
Go for it.
It's 3 times a week, right? 3 times.
Yes. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
That's correct.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, and just a quick shout out to Chidozie. He actually invited me to this slot.
Good.
It's like my brother. I've known him for like 21 years.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. Nice one. Thanks a lot.
Good. Thank you very much, David. All right. Any other questions, guys? It's been a pleasure. I expect to see you in class soon. Have a lovely, lovely evening, and good night. Good night, y'all.
Good night, everyone. Thanks.
You're welcome.